Okay, everybody, we have entered the last, we say every year not to overdo it with talks, and we always overdo it, of course. But I see that you guys are still still hanging in there. Thank you very much for staying with us. We have 4 short talks, so we'll try to make it short and brief, and then very quickly go to the very nice cocktail that we have organized for you. So let me get straight to the point. I'd like to invite to the stage Dr. John Soldatos, good friend, electrical and computer engineering and AI expert and consultant. He will talk to us about when networks think.
Hi. The basic, so what is this talk about, okay? So 2 main messages. First message is how the world works today, in my opinion, and how this is going to impact the management of infrastructure. And I mean the management of networks, but also the converged edge cloud telco stack. And second message, that how you can build an autonomously managed but human supervised stack with agents. We heard about this concept already in the presentation, in the industrial presentation earlier. Now I'm going to frame what does this mean in an infrastructure management concept. So it's difficult to understand the era we are living at, and this is because human mind is programmed to think in a linear fashion, 1, 2, 3, 4. We cannot understand the exponential distributions so easily, like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. Today, we are in such technology revolution, which is called technology acceleration. So what do we have? First of all, we have the exponential growth of compute. You know, today, as we speak, the most valuable company in the world, the company with the highest capitalization is NVIDIA, because it makes the AI chip. We have also an exponential distribution in the growth of data. It's not just the computing power. We have more data than ever before. We know the reason. It's social media, smartphones, IoT devices everywhere. And this means an explosion of digital data. Just to blow your mind, in the last 2 years, the amount of digital data generated is more than double than from 2024 back to the beginning of humankind. So data and compute means powerful artificial intelligence, plus what we call today generative AI, or you know, this revolution that occurred with the ChatGPT moment of AI. You no longer have to program a computer. You just talk to it in English, and this writes the program that does and implements your intent. This is called intent-based computing. You no longer need to write Python, JavaScript. You need to architect your application, then describe your architecture in the natural language, and then the program is generated. And this is going to be the future, like from now on. And today, we have this powerful thing, which is the term AI agent. It has been used decades before, but today, at least we have a true AI agent. We have a software that is acting autonomously. You give it intent, and you don't need to be on top of the software to surveil it all the time. It does the work for you. We call this AI agent. So, can we have agentic networks? Yes, we are running different projects in Netcompany, my company, but on the university where we use AI. But how we use AI today? We use it as a copilot. We run a machine learning algorithm, we get a result, and then you go and you implement this result in the cloud configuration, in the network configuration. Or even you have a ChatGPT-like interface, you chat with it, you say, give me the Kubernetes file, give me the network configuration for this, that, and then the AI produces the file, and then you have to go to another environment, another tool, as a cloud engineer, as a network administrator, and implement the AI inside. Now, how about this? You don't interact at all. You just give the intent to a truly digital infrastructure manager, digital engineer, and this is doing all the work for you, provided that you have a proper level of human supervision. And this is the future of an agentic network. So you don't have AI just as an assistant to the human, but you have an agent, or actually a pool of agents, doing the real infrastructure work. So what's the key point? First of all, these softwares are goal-driven. I want to set up this network service with this cloud management policy, with that security, with that energy efficiency requirements, with these green and sustainability requirements. And this is a complex configuration, right? This is typically something a well-educated engineer can implement on the infrastructure. Now imagine that an agent can take this goal, this intent, and implement this for you. The second thing is that this thing which is called AI is not just pulling information, like some people using ChatGPT. It's reasoning, it's intelligence as a service. It can do complex mathematical calculations, optimizations, solve equations behind the scenes. We call this reasoning. And at the end of the day, you can't have just one copy of the software. You can have multiple copies, multiple specialists that you can orchestrate. And that's what agentic AI will look, in my opinion, in telecoms. Now, in the title of my talk, there is a concept of digital twin. Here, we really need a digital twin. Why do we need a digital twin? Because the first question that comes to our minds is, how do you know that this thing works properly? How do you know that your AI doesn't make a mistake, especially when you put it into a production infrastructure? That's why you need sandbox, a test bed, if you want, where you can experiment with different configurations. The difference being that an agent can generate for you very fast multiple experimentation scenarios and then execute it. What do you need for this? Of course, you need to have the proper telemetry, right? The proper IoT and IT infrastructure, so that you can have a really digital twin, which is a digital copy of your network, right? And this is the beauty of the digital twin. You can run many simulations and exhaustive simulations before you put something into production, before even you put something into the physical world, because in the physical world, you cannot reverse the consequences. If you are in the digital world, it's like, you know, working on PowerPoint or on Word. I don't care if I make a mistake, there is a nice button, undo. If you put it into production, unfortunately, there is no such undo button. So this is what the autonomy stack will look like, right? So data fabric, a digital twin that you build on the telemetry and on the network model, and then a digital layer of multiple agents that you can orchestrate. Now, what is the benefit of these multiple benefits? You can get benefits across many different areas of infrastructure management. If you want to optimize your infrastructure for the best use of energy, this is a big concern, or greenness, sustainability, or if you want to manage your slices, or fine-tuning your security policy because you are running a sensitive application like, for example, healthcare. And also, I would add to what you see in this slide. Regulatory compliance, regulatory intelligence. We, in all the industry, we spend, especially in Europe, which is a regulatory savvy environment, we spend a lot of time getting data and producing regulatory reports for our bosses, for the different authorities. This can be now automated, right? Because an AI can build this regulatory checklist and regulatory report for you, and things that used to take days or weeks can be done in hours or minutes. Now, these are my ideas, but if you see what other companies are saying, both from the cloud strand, Google, or even the network strand, Ericsson, and also presentations in events like Mobile World Congress, Smart Cities Expo, you will see that this concept is there, right? It looks like crazy, it looks like science fiction that you have, a completely autonomous and digital infrastructure management engineer or cloud management engineer, but let me remind you that it looked unbelievable if I would tell you 10 or 20 years ago that you are going to have a software developer, right, which is AI and works alongside your developer. And we don't have so many degrees of freedom, right, in infrastructure management. If you manage a router or a switch and so on, these are some thousands of commands, right? If you manage some piece of networking equipment, that's a piece of cake for AI. Now, are there challenges? Yes. There are challenges, especially when operations become more mission critical, more sensitive, so it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of explainability. It's a matter of having data with the right quality, telemetry, logs, IoT, so that you can really build a reliable digital twin, but also that you can really give the right context to these big generative AI brains. And in the end, of course, the human is in the loop. In Europe, this is mandatory because of the AI regulation. But the challenge there is not just to say that I'm having a human in the loop, is having the proper level of graduated autonomy. So some easy, low-risk things, maybe they can be fully automated. High-risk decisions will be fully controlled by the human. This is what it looks like. So yes, you need to get your data right. This is like every AI exercise, and you need to have an AI adoption roadmap in order to be autonomous. It can't work the other way with a shortcut. Without the right data, no agent can produce appropriate results. So that's my story for today. Thanks for the invite, and see you around.
Thank you very much, John. Fascinating. Let's move now to Dr. Alpina Michovska from Smart Avatar. She's going to talk to us about federated testbeds. Welcome, Albina.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Albena Michalska. I'm CTO of Smart Avatar, which is an SME in the Netherlands. And we are also part of the project MetaCities. We heard some presentations, and together with the colleagues that actually presented here today, we also recently had an initiative on federated testbeds for virtual worlds. And this is what I'm going to talk today about, because basically there is a lot of innovation in immersive technologies, in AI, in general digital technologies in Europe. And actually SMEs are in Europe the ones that really are very innovative. There are a lot of SMEs working on various solutions. I'm also involved in Eurommersive, which is European Federation of the XR Professionals. And I can see that there are a lot of initiatives. And these initiatives, obviously, we saw that there are some that come to light. But in view of the very complex essence of these applications and the technologies that come together and converge, and a lot of complex components, it is very important, if we are ever to deploy this and really see commercialization of the majority of the innovations, to have a way to validate such solutions and push them quickly from a TRL 5, 6 to 7, 8, 9, really in commercialization phase. And this is where these federated testbeds for digital twins and immersive innovation comes. It's actually, we call it virtual worlds. And, so this is basically the concept. And what we want to achieve here is bring together and make available the various testbed facilities in Europe. If we look at Europe, we have in various regions of Europe, we have like more prominent sectors that characterize these regions. For example, like Germany is well known for the automotive. In Spain, we have healthcare and biotech. In France, we have the air defense. So around these vertical sectors, we have also very world-class, I would say, testbed facilities, but they stay isolated. And the majority of these, at the moment, they are standalone, fragmented. However, we have, as I mentioned, this convergence of various technologies together. So on one hand, we have the immersive technologies, the VR, XR, AR, then we have also, and these, of course, in order to validate solutions and test them, they require also expensive hardware. A lot of these also available hardware, environments, they are not necessarily, they are proprietary, and they are also non-European. Then we have, of course, the digital twins and the simulations, and here we need really to have the ability to offer real-time synchronization, and of course this is real-time synchronization across various physical assets. And we have also the AI and connected systems, and now we have the AI converging with the 5G, 6G, with the edge, with the cloud. They form themselves a backbone, and this backbone cannot, it has to be tested in an end-to-end mode. It cannot be just isolated. And of course, the concept of federated testbeds, it's not new. It has been also addressed by standardization, by ITU in the context of 5G, of future networks. It has been addressed by a number of European projects, and here we just bring it a little bit further and apply it to this environment of virtual worlds. So this is what we want. We want to provide access to SMEs and to researchers, to the larger European community, to access resources, which can be expensive, especially for SMEs. Of course, this financial burden is very important. And we want to give them a way to also test them against a very dynamic regulatory landscape. So we have the AI Act, we have the Data Act, we have the GDPR. All these things, they evolve constantly, and they bring additional layer of complexity that has to be understood. And obviously, if we any innovation, if you don't comply with this, then you risk, of course, lack of adoption. So there are these barriers that are out of the technology control. And federated testbeds can allow such sandbox environments where you can also test them against these regulatory requirements that may not always be taken into consideration straightforward. So these are some of the challenges that I outlined, so I will be obviously very fast because I summarized my presentation, showing you one slide. But yes, we have the testbed fragmentation, as I mentioned. Sorry, okay, turn down, go back, no, doesn't matter. So we have the, yeah. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we have a number of challenges that Europe is facing, and I mentioned most of them. And this is where also the European Commission, maybe some of you are aware, there was a call for proposals, and these were exactly testbed, the virtual worlds testbed. There are also a number of former initiatives that were looking for Virtual Worlds Academy to train and provide the digital skill set in Europe to create and be innovative in this area. So this is simply in an answer to respond to this call for proposals and for ideas on how to enable this. And yes, so in order to overcome the challenges, what we are proposing is to move beyond this isolated research environment and really create a physically distributed but virtually connected testbed environment where access is for everyone, so everyone can access. Of course, there is the beautiful part of this idea is that the governance is also backed up by a revenue model, and this is what we believe will keep it also sustainable, and there will be like I have a slide with, let's say, a business canvas where we can see a little bit the business model, but it will be some kind of a subscription, pay-per-use type of model, so that we have a democratized access to these resources. So SMEs primarily, which are the targets and researchers that suffer from the financial limitations, will be able to come into this testbed environment and test their resources. Of course, we have the access to these distributed around Europe, world-class facilities that I mentioned. And a very important part is that this is going to be open. So the openness is something that we need to maintain in order to keep the sovereignty, but also to support interoperability, because this is currently also a bottleneck. There is lack of interoperable solutions, and keeping the APIs that interconnect these facilities in line with open standards, designing them and building them with open standards, and keeping them open will allow that these interactions are interoperable, so there is talking between the various components, and there is also a seamless operation, which is also very important. And finally, of course, I mentioned the business model, which is something that will keep it going, hopefully. And I think that with the interoperability, this is just an example. Let's say we have a number, of course, of verticals that can benefit from this innovation and validation, new validation environment, federated environment, I would say. And we can see each of these, let's say, use cases that are being created as a separate like platform, virtual worlds platform, where we have a number of layers that talk to each other, and they are also cross-orchestrated by cross-orchestrator components that's not shown here. But what we have is, of course, on the physical layer, we have all these physical assets. We have the humans, we have the machines, we have distributed control systems, we have programmable logic controllers, we have the sensors that collect information. From here, we get all this information that is being collected, and it is large, I would say, in the order of petabytes probably, that goes up into the information layer, and here is where we try to make sense and turn this information into actionable insights. And that's why, of course, I have put here perception. So this is at information layer. Then we have, of course, the system layer, which is the core. So here we have all the core components and assets of the virtual world platform. We have the AI, of course, we have the analytics. Here we can have the agents. And this is where, of course, everything is controlled and orchestrated. Going into a model where you can simply access various virtual worlds assets, like they can be avatars, they can be digital twins. This is very, I think, in line also what John just a moment ago presented. And here is the virtual environment. And finally, of course, all these drives the application layer where we can have the variety of applications that we are looking to achieve. So this is, let's say, the revenue model idea. So what we want to have is, of course, the interconnected federated testbed ecosystem. But here we have actually this testbed as a service model, which would allow to provide the sustainability to back up the governance by this revenue model. And of course, we have as main users SMEs, startups. This is where the innovation comes from. And we have, of course, surrounded the various virtual worlds technologies. We have the resources of the facilities that I mentioned. And in this interconnected federated testbed environment, we can do various types of testing and validation so that we can deliver application for all these vertical sectors. Yeah, this is the business canvas. Actually, we have a number of key partnerships and key partners that can get involved. And we have, sorry, because I don't see it from here, but okay. We have, of course, the strategic partners. We have technology partners. We have the standardization bodies that are important partners. And we have a number of key activities. Basically, the whole value proposition is the ecosystem itself. And this is, of course, also the key resource around which the value proposition revolves. So we can have a number of customer segments that can be served. We can have a variety also of customer relationships, but we can have the phased monetization, and this is in the beginning while it is established, and afterwards we can go on to something that is more, as I mentioned, using the various revenue streams as outlined here. And yeah, so we can have the subscription tiers at various levels. We can have also the services, professional services that are offered. And yeah, that's actually everything I have to say. Some priority sectors, I mentioned them. Our company is involved actually in one of these vertical applications, in particular construction, where we are working again with a very large construction company in Bulgaria and building for them a digital twin, which can be applied for the current build-up of the last piece of the motorway or freeway between Bulgaria and Greece. It's a very strategic section, which has until now been a very small road. It's a mountainous terrain. It is dangerous. There are like tunnels and rocks and water around. So a lot of difficulties which a digital twin can help, of course, provide these actionable insights. We also use a scenario where we have autonomous robots that can go and scan the more difficult part of the terrains, also inside the tunnels, and provide the information. So this is currently something that we are working on, and we will be very happy to also have this environment to be able to test it and bring it quickly to commercialization phase and real deployment, so to say, at large scale. And similarly, of course, there are a number of you may be involved in some of these other verticals. Obviously, in healthcare, currently it's There is a lot of work on digital patient twins, also the remote surgeries with immersive environments. There is and the integration of all this together. Obviously, the predictive maintenance and the smart manufacturing scenarios that are quite popular. So this is just some of the sectors that are going to benefit from this ecosystem. And in line with what John said about the agents, this was the first phase, let's say, the concept, which can be really, especially the orchestration of the resources and what facilities to be offered to whom and related to which use case can be very well handled by agents, AI agents. And we can think in the future also of self-optimizing infrastructure that can improve continuously and, of course, be run by these agents. And enabling this zero friction intent layer where the users declare their outcomes. And, of course, this is the intent that we're looking for. So thank you for the attention.
Okay, 2 more short presentations, promise. Almost there, but we saved the last for the best for the end. Please let me welcome Liz Canlis from the Electronic Communication Office of Latvia. He's going to tell us how they're building regional ecosystems in the Baltics and Nordics, and maybe we can learn a lot of things from what they're doing already. Niels, welcome.
So, good afternoon, friends. It's really great pleasure for me to be here. After really long time, when we started discussion with Marios that we should do something together here in Southern Europe, in heart of Europe's cultural heritage, and finally it becomes true. So, PNET, together with wonderful colleagues, created this wonderful event, and I would like to thank you very much for inviting me here to show our little experience from Techitory, what we created during last, basically 10 years. My name is Nils Kalniņš. I'm working for Electronic Communications Office of Latvia, and I'm Director of Techitory Ecosystem. And my talk today will be about basically 3 things: collaboration, innovation, and ecosystem. My presentation most probably will be the non-technical, if we compare with all other presentations before. And if I will be the singer, I will sing a song for you, just to make some relaxation. If I will be the painter, I will make a painting for you, just to relax a little bit after those cloud, AI, age, XR, all possible buzzwords we heard, because I'm a simple mind. I would say some words about humanity, because my strong belief is that nevertheless that AI can do everything. Smart networks can do very many things without proper human cooperation in real life, in real time, in real territory, we cannot achieve much. So, coming back or coming further to my presentation, I would briefly present who we are, Techitory ecosystem, and first of all, it's, I would say, properly managed communication and collaboration platform to bring together people from academia, business, and governments, or policymakers, initially from Baltic states and Nordics. And it was started 10 years ago because there was a very clear sign that 5G will come, and 5G will make a lot of over promises, as usually new technologies does. But somebody should care properly what to do with this technology and how to make a business out of it. And for us, for Latvia as a small country, that kind of way of thinking is very crucial, because that's the only way what we can afford. And last, let's say, decade actually shows to us that this approach is very, very important. Yeah, so we basically brought together companies and bright minds from the region, created the ecosystem, and we started exactly with our very first attempt to organize Techritory Ecosystem Forum. And thank you, we met there Marios. He was our wonderful speaker and moderator, and that's how actually our cooperation started. And after a few attempts, Marios also became content leader for our ecosystem forum for quite a time. So maybe that's the reason why Techritory at the moment as a forum is recognized one of the greatest tech events in Europe. Yeah, so we are still in Riga, but and based in Riga and organizing our annual events in Riga, but actually we trying to make impact much out of our country. We trying to create impact in Nordic Baltic region, in European Union, and nowadays I would like to say that because of our international collaboration in frame of Team Latvia concept, we are much out of let's say European Union as well. Yeah, to continue my story, actually I'm always saying to do something right, you should take care about methodology and you should be somehow academically right in a good sense of that word. And here I would like to talk about values and principles. And when we started our Techritory ecosystem, there was a very clearly set 3 principles. We can survive if we will be cross-border. We can survive if we will be cross-sectoral. And we can survive if we will be cross-level. It means that everything what we do should be interesting not just for us, for Electronic Communications Office, or for Latvians. It should be things which can motivate also people far away from our country. Why is it important? Because Latvians are just 2 million. Yeah? We can do significant things, but our manpower is not big enough to make a real impact. But we are ambitious enough to say that we would like to create a great impact. What is special in our event, in our, Techritory Ecosystem Forum and Techritory ecosystem generally is actually that we trying to connect countries in proper way. It means that we bring together people who are interested in each other business. Yeah? It's not just a random people who are playing Techritory Forum, coming once a year to Riga, eating a lot of carbonates and cutlets and going home. The people are really motivated to come there, to meet somebody, to create a business, to create a project, to create a concept, and then go back home, hopefully for further work. One other is spirit of co-creation. Because there in Europe, there are thousands of conferences where people come together for 2 days, 3 days, go home. What happens afterwards? Basically nothing. Sometimes they go to next event, then to next event, and next event. So we trying to inspire our partners always. Let's make something which you are motivated to co-create during the Techritory Forum and after Techritory Forum. And here I will continue with a little slide about our working streams, and I will describe how it works in real life. And tangible outcomes. And tangible outcomes in very, let's say, real sense. Because as I said, we started with 5G 10 years ago. And there was, our first question is, how we can make our business better using 5G. It was not a question about how we can set up 1,000 antennas around country, but actually what kind of business you can accelerate, what kind of value you can create, what kind of real value for citizens you can create using 5G, 6G, or whatever G. Yeah, let's move to our wonderful slide about who is or who we are nowadays. Because as I said, we started 5G territory, now we are territory ecosystem, because most probably we did something right, and that was the reason why we became as a platform for nationally significant initiatives. And that's the reason why TRIPS initiative is in our, as one of our work streams, the Drone Initiative, Quantum Technology Alliance, Maritime Autonomy, Team Latvia Digital, what I will also tell a few words after, Territory Forum itself, and also we are part of 6G family, being a partner of 6G Co-ops project. Yeah. And one thing what I would like to say is that, for example, why those things, what is behind of all those working streams is actually the connectivity. Yeah? Because if we talk about drones, and of course we're talking about dual use, and we're having a lot of companies, test beds, many other things in our country, in our region, but the question is how to enable their proper work. It's actually proper connectivity, because if there is a proper connectivity, then the technology will work, the technology will deliver. If we look at microchip initiative, then our competence is strictly and directly related to photonic technology, because this is our belief which really can make future data centers more effective, more green, and actually also faster. If you look at the quantum technologies, of course, this is very big topic, but where we are focused on post-quantum cryptography and how to use, let's say, the quantum technologies to deliver secure networks. Yeah. So, by saying that, I know my time is limited, and Marius is looking on me with shiny eyes, exactly. I will go into a couple of let's say, examples also where I would like to start to invite, not saying you, but inviting us for further cooperation, because that's the real reason why I'm here. Myself and Marius, I know many people in this room, is looking for new partnerships and have real trust in new partnerships. And Team Latvia Digital is one of initiatives which was created during last Territory Forum, actually to intensify Latvia's offer to other partners. Of course, we can talk about Global Gateway initiative in European Union, which is already around for a couple of years, with a very straightforward aim to export European technologies outside of the European Union. This is, of course, one of the reasons, but the second one is actually to bring together 9 strong companies who are motivated and really ready to deliver outside of European Union. Yeah? Why I'm telling this to you guys? Not just to promote my guys, but because there is needed Team Greece. Because under the concept of Global Gateway, we should have at least 3 countries working together if we would like to improve telco network in Egypt using European funds. If we would like to create a new internet access for Central Asia, or develop any kind of other European tech initiatives in Southern America, for example. So we are ready. We know the rules, and we are ready to share our experience, how to do that, and actually this is our kind invitation. Let's cooperate and let's think how we can export our technologies outside European Union. All right, next topic is defense. And this is, of course, special request from Marios and colleagues from PNET. Yeah, you know where Latvia is, right? It's more than 1,500 days since Russia's brutal invasion into Ukraine. And please remember that. I know for 1,000 people, it's not so understandable what does it mean, yeah, because it's kind of far away. But this country is 300 kilometers from my house. Yeah, who is really affecting one other independent European country. And that's the reason why Latvia should be very active, proactive, developing modern solutions how to defend ourselves. And luckily our mobile operator LMT is very active in that field, and that's the reason why we had in Latvia in a NATO frame very first 5G testbed, which now is actually ready to be used by any other NATO country who is interested to test their gadgets, their technical solutions, etc. We have also a dedicated drone site where you can test the drone technologies by using all kind of equipment, by having opportunities also to blow up some things if you need. Yeah, and all this is for real, and all this works in a real environment where you can get a real data, real experience, because again, coming back to my initial sentence about role and importance of humanity, is also the importance of real tests are still there. Nevertheless, that you can do all possible tests and measurements in artificial environment. Yeah? At the end of the day, if you would like to create a technology with which you can defend your country, you should test it in real life, in real test bed. So that's the stuff what we do, and that's the experience what we are ready to share with you. And actually what we discussed already during the day, that there is a good opportunity to use our experience to create new test beds here in Greece, and actually figure out what will be your specialty, what will be our specialty, and how we can contribute to each other, and also how we can create environment for other countries who are interested in developing that kind of technologies. Now, yeah, okay. Once again, so my time is running out. I will not spend a lot of time in theories, but I would like to finish with two simple sentences about next steps. And from my point of view, agree on next steps is really important. And actually, I'm here to answer your questions, if you have any afterwards. And I really would be happy if some little delegation from Greece could attend already our drone summit in Riga. So actually it's not it's a Drones Coalition Summit. Drones Coalition Summit means it's created by 70 countries together, led by UK and Latvia, to support Ukraine, but not only, to accelerate allied partners together to develop drone technologies to defend our countries. And this event will be not just a great place where to share and learn, but it also will be a great place where to come together again after a few weeks to discuss what precisely we can do together. Yeah? Actually to create a real sense of my being here today. And the second option, where we can continue our cooperation and continue, let's say, discussions what we precisely can do is our Techratory Forum, which will be held in Riga, 21st, 22nd. I know some of you visited us already. We created great activities afterwards, but I really would like to enlarge our cooperation. We really would like to express our readiness to help, to provide everything what you need to make your next event much bigger, to create much greater event impact afterwards. So, and again, our Techratory Forum most probably is one of the potential milestones where we can come together, discuss, agree, also involve other partners from Scandinavia, from Central Asia, from other countries who will be our partners for this year. So colleagues, that's it from my side. I'm happy to be for you here during the cocktail party, right?
Well, here we are. I don't know how we managed to keep you here with all these talks, and I don't know if it's because it's very interesting topics or because we put the door very strategically so we captured you all inside. One of the two is, but now we know for next year, yeah? We put it behind me, the door. But it's, okay. It's very good you stayed because we saved the best. We saved the best for last, and here comes my presentation. Yes. No, it will be very short and sweet and not techy at all, as following the good transition for me. So I put a very ambitious title that I will try to describe a high-tech vision for Greece and Southeastern Europe. But I wanted to be right after Niels because I've been following what they do for many years. And as being a small country, 2 million something, they have created a small miracle. And they did it by exactly the principles that he described. They are open for collaboration, and they set up this ecosystem, not just to get together every year and have nice presentations, but in order to really create collaborations. It's an amazing amount of meetings that is happening during the Techratory behind the scenes, and based on all these things that they achieved, they are now very active, collaborating with many countries assigned by the EU Commission to help countries like Moldova, like Georgia, like the Ukraine, like Egypt, and it's impressive really what they have achieved. And as an example, I'm trying to suggest that we try and do something similar. The best way to start is where we are good. So Greece is not good in everything, but we are very good in some things. And I suggest that we start from the areas where we are good at and then build on those. Of course, our tourism is growing very, very fast and very successfully. Our maritime, we have the #1 fleet in the world. And it really means something. We have an extreme divergence of culture heritage, as we are at the Hellenic world today with one of the key institutions that are driving that national heritage. We have 20 million visitors plus growing into our monuments. And as already being discussed, we are 5th in investment in NATO. In order for us to grow in this environment, we need a new mind frame to serve this growth. This has to evolve around new services, new jobs, and building regional ecosystems. I'll give a couple of very small examples. These 20 million tourists that we have per year visiting the country, they come, they have very nice kebabs, calamaris, they hear a couple of nice tour guides, and then they go home. Today, what we try to do by inviting technology speakers, but also from the various sectors speakers, was to show that the technology is ready and it's in our hands to integrate and provide new services to these people. So if we can make 10 euro more per tourist, then it will have a very big impact, and there is a available revenue that we can tap easily into. As many speakers already said, I'll try and make it a little bit more playful. We are at a very important time in technology. The last time I remember this was in the early 90s when the internet was created. And somehow, I didn't expect when it was going to happen during my career again to see such a boom, and here we are. The AI agents that everybody's talking about are coming. They're already doing some jobs. Geospatial technologies are being standardized. Autonomous systems and drones like the car that came and picked me up in Arizona are being deployed. And digital twins, as you saw, are being applied in almost all sectors of the economy. The technology stack that is getting higher, and it's being getting taller in a way. So far, we have been operating, let's see if I can do that. Yes, I can do. Where we have been operating as PNET, and many of us is in these spaces here, the connectivity and the edge cloud. But now we have all these nice geospatial technologies and digital twins. AI is coming on top of this now. And all these new devices that have been described are becoming real. You know, Meta didn't buy Ray-Ban just because they are afraid of the sun, yeah? They are there, they're very actively investing, and all this stack now has to be somehow integrated into new services, validated, and something that, if it's one thing that I've noticed that we're not good at, is the mass provisioning of services. All these European projects that we're doing, we do it in the lab, we show it, maybe we deploy it a little bit in the field, it works, but it's a very different proposition to deploy 10,000 glasses around the Parthenon. Very different that they work. If they break down, you know who should fix them, you know how to replace them, you know how to recycle them after they're not useful yet. It's a very different proposition to provision mass market services, and here we have work to do. I went back. Yes. No, now I'm going back. Sorry. Yes, very good. In order to achieve this, we need to combine 4 worlds. I'll give you an example of a service that I think is ready to deploy in Greece, and we don't have it. It's not available in Greece. And if we had it this summer, whoever launched it would make very many nice millions of euros. Ali, who was with us before, showed us about an AI spatial avatar that can be deployed and interact with tourists that have come to the country, either as a tour guide, either as a friend, either as a history discussion, either as a fashion advisor, either as a children game playing educator. All this the market for this is available. No, I have to go back. Sorry. Yes, the market is available, is there to catch, but we need to integrate 4 different worlds. The worlds of geospatial augmented reality, agentic AI, digital twins, and advanced connectivity. We had the best in the world here with us today in these 4 domains. We had the Metaverse Standards Forum and companies that are experts in this. The last speakers showed that we have a lot of know-how about agentic AI. Digital twins, of course, was the theme of today. And we at PNET, but also others in the country, are very advanced in being able to create the connectivity systems that can connect a mass market for a service launch across the country, not in a single museum, not just at the Acropolis, something that works everywhere. We can do this. It's only up to us to be brave and just do it. I'm going to close very quickly by the last point that I wanted to make, which is the ecosystem creation, because we don't have this as a culture. And that's why I invited Niels, because it is impressive what they've done in their region. 10 years ago, they decided to extend hands to each other, and you're talking about countries that are much more advanced than us. For example, Finland, Sweden, Norway, the Baltic countries, they created a true ecosystem. It sounded like a conference, but it wasn't. It was a coming together with a vision and a true willingness to work together, and understanding that if we work together, 1 + 1 can equal 3. This is what we are proposing here with the start of the New Tech Forum, that we will create an event, an annual event. We will grow it bigger, but we also have an ecosystem of countries around us. For example, Albania, Bulgaria, Romania, Cyprus, even a little bit further, Israel, Egypt, that we can invite and create a platform where we can innovate together, create projects together, learn together, and then create a territory, which, as Niels once described to me, stands for technical territory. So thank you all for attending today. I hope we didn't make you too tired, and this was interesting for you. And let's see if I do it right. See you at New Tech Forum 2027.